Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and today we got a couple more updates to get into for World of Warcraft. Most of them are going to be talking about the Shadowlands Alpha. Yet another small update that we cannot see is live on Shadowlands. And I think right now it is about that time to start talking about Shadowlands Alpha. And we will start with the main question on everyone's mind. Where is it? And why is it important for Shadowlands Alpha to come out soon-ish if we are hoping for a more or less similar release that what Blizzard has done for previous expansions? We also have a couple other smaller updates available in World of Warcraft as of this week. So let's get into the news. First of all, if you are playing BFA right now and you're grinding your character, for this week we have Horrific Vision of Orgrimmar, which is I think one of the easier visions. And if you're still trying to catch up on your cloak, right now is the best time to do it. This week is the first week where you get to upgrade the corruption resistance of your level 15 cloak by 3 extra resistance. So if you're trying to get your alts caught up or trying to gain any more power on your main, right now is the best time to do it. If you're not seeing a quest anywhere in the game, maybe as soon as you log in or nothing new from Rathian, don't worry, there is no actual quest to get this upgrade. Which I think Blizzard maybe should add some sort of a quest once you log in on a character with a level 15 cloak. But to get your cloaks upgraded, all you have to do is slay N'Zoth, whether it is on normal, heroic, mythic, or the hardest difficulty possible out there, the LFR. Or do a full clear for a Horrific Vision, and you don't need to do any masks. Prior to this, Blizzard had a requirement where you needed to do at least one mask for the run, but they removed it, making the run through Horrific Visions for any of you guys that don't like group gameplay but rather do something solo. A full clear for Horrific Vision for Orgrimmar is a perfect time to do it. Now, we are lucky that we are in Orgrimmar Horrific Vision, which majority of players agree is a far easier vision, especially if you're a caster. For the Stormwind Vision, it does benefit certain few classes. Technically, just about everybody should be able to do it, but the mechanics are a little bit different and in some cases can be more difficult for certain classes. So if you're someone who really doesn't want to do the Stormwind Vision, but you enjoy the Orgrimmar Vision, technically, next week, you could skip out on doing the Horrific Vision for Stormwind. That does mean that that week you will not get a Malefic Core to further upgrade your cloak. However, for catch-up, every week, if you do not have the most amount of cores in your cloak, Blizzard said that every week for catch-up mechanism, you can use your character that needs the catch-up for those extra past level 15 upgrades. You can get 2 Malefic Cores a week. That means if you do the 1 core in Orgrimmar, skip on Stormwind, then go back to Orgrimmar, just do 2 easier Orgrimmar runs and you'll be back on the same page as everybody else. There's a good chance if you guys are someone who is trying to get your heroics done and mythics done, you'll probably want to stay ahead on Malefic Cores, but it is only 3 corruption resistance. So if you are someone who just hates Stormwind Vision, you can skip out and just do 2 Orgrimmar the next time it's back up. Speaking of Horrific Visions, just the other day, I did my first 5 mask run on stream, and I was able to get a couple footage here and there. It was not as difficult as I thought it would be. I maybe overthought the difficulty and the requirements needed in order to do a 5 mask run. It is one of those things where once you snowball yourself into a bad position, it's really difficult to climb out of. Let's say you'll have enemies stunning you and knocking you into things that reduce your sanity, and then they keep draining your sanity, and then you continue getting stunned and knocked around, then you really can get blown out of proportion very quickly. But I actually had a lot of fun. It's a pretty cool, challenging piece of content. It gives you quite a bit of gear too, so that's what I really enjoy. And it's going to be fun to do that as a side activity. I think Blizzard did a really good job with Horrific Visions, and it's cool that I was able to experience the good parts of it and the difficult parts as well. Cannot wait to do more visions next week, especially as I try to tackle on Stormwind. Next, in a bit of information, we got ourselves more stuff happening with Shadowlands Alpha. And that is that we got another patch, and yes, it is also encrypted. They keep putting out these patches, and they keep having them encrypted, and that means that we cannot see what the patches are like. Another thing we can't see is how big these patches are, so we don't even know if this is the smallest upgrade, like Blizzard maybe had some sort of a loading bug or a cinematic didn't play when you just first showed up to Shadowlands and they simply just added like an extra NPC in there or corrected a typo. It could have been anything from just the smallest change of them adding a bucket or moving a bucket an inch off to the side somewhere out in the game world, or adding a massive overhaul and a whole new zone and a bunch of art assets into the game to see if they will function. So there's a lot of exciting things that can happen with this patch sniffer, and we have been waiting for Shadowlands Alpha at least to see one. Maybe an alpha that's limited for some people that we can see some of the content for, maybe some of the content that we might be able to play with, if maybe only a few of us, but at least somebody. We've been waiting for that for quite a bit. And some people have been, at least online, suggesting that maybe we'll have a pretty big delay with Shadowlands. I mean, no one could predict that the world would be in literal lockdown, and Blizzard did try to set up a work from home setup so they continue working on projects for World of Warcraft, I would imagine, as well as other games, but it is totally not out of the realm of possibility that could definitely slow things down. But with everybody else stuck at home, I think it would be some great news for a lot of us to hear what's on the horizon. For some of us, we're still in there battling Azeroth until he's dead on Mythic, trying to climb in Radar.io score doing Mythic Pluses, or even trying to go for Gladiator in PvP. We're trying to get all our alts up and running now that there's even more stuff to do, and we're even trying to level characters all over again. The spark is still there, but for some people, this expansion is basically at its end, and a lot of people are wondering what is going to be next. I feel like in this times, it would be a perfect opportunity to release even a little bit extra information on Shadowlands. At least a little bit. Maybe just the art assets or some of the abilities some of the other classes are getting for Covenants. Or a full list of all the abilities the Blizzard has for classes prepared for Shadowlands as of right now of this early alpha build, if there's even anything in there. I think something like that would be really cool, because we saw a lot of people surge back to the game as soon as they added an XP boost for the retail WoW. Hell, even classic World of Warcraft, some of the servers that haven't seen a queue time are now seeing queue times. So the hype and excitement for World of Warcraft in general is still bringing people together, is still getting so many people back in the game if they used to play it or have been playing it before or don't even have the time to play it until now. A lot of people still are excited about World of Warcraft in general. So I think it would just be even a better thing just to have even a little bit of information released. I should still state my position on Shadowlands though. I am perfectly okay if they end up delaying this expansion, if they end up taking longer in order to make this expansion better, if they're trying to make sure that this expansion doesn't come out half cooked, but fully cooked all the way through. We're not looking at medium rare or rare whatsoever, we're looking at well done, maybe even very well done. I would rather this expansion to be as well optimized from day one, filled with content to do, and every patch introducing new and exciting stuff for us to test out. I would love for all the classes to be finalized and have all the abilities and all these new systems for power progression to be complete without any bugs, issues, confusion, and just simply fun systems that we want to interact with. I want to have memorable dungeons and memorable raids. I want to have memorable bosses. Very similar to what they were able to do in Legion. I mean, in Legion, I still remember some of the dungeons from Mythic Pluses. Things like Vault of the Wardens and the different environments and mechanics that offered. You also had the Cathedral of Eternal Palace after the nerfs became one of the easier dungeons to run in general. And then, of course, Maw of Souls. How can anybody forget about the Maw? And that's not going to happen if the expansion doesn't get plenty of time to cook in the oven. So sometimes it's just best to just kind of realize that it is going to take time and we will just have to be patient and wait. So I'm perfectly okay with waiting, even though I'm itching to see more stuff. And on this channel, as soon as we have more Shadowlands content, I'll definitely make a video on everything we know as soon as we know. So you guys are more than welcome to subscribe, maybe if it's your first time catching this channel. Otherwise, guys, I'm very excited to see what Shadowlands has to offer. I would love to see some Shadowlands news and updates in the next few weeks if we are to be locked in the houses for months or however long it's going to take. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in another one.